American generals rejected one vehicle, called it primitive, called it useless waste of money. That rejected vehicle won World War II, changed warfare forever. Here's how. Summer 1940, American War Department desperate, France fallen, Britain surrounded, Soviet Union unprepared, American needed modern army fast. Military issued requirement for light reconnaissance vehicle. Specifications seemed impossible. Vehicle needed crossing any terrain, mountains, deserts, jungles, swamps, Arctic cold, tropical heat. Needed carrying 4 soldiers with weapons, ammunition, supplies. Needed simple enough any mechanic could repair battlefield. Needed cheap enough. Producing thousands monthly, American car manufacturers laughed. Ford said impossible engineering challenge. General Motors called requirements unrealistic. Chrysler refused contract entirely. One company said yes. Willys Overland Motors accepted. Company was bankrupt, depression nearly killed them. This contract meant survival or death for company. Willys engineers worked day and night, creating prototype. Results shocked military inspectors. Vehicle weighed 2,315 pounds fully loaded. Four-wheel drive system allowed, climbing 60-degree slopes nobody thought possible. Top speed 65 miles per hour. Range 300 miles single tank. Ground clearance 8.5 inches. Could ford water 18 inches deep without stalling. Most importantly, construction brutally simple. Every component accessible. Every part replaceable. Battlefield conditions. Engine basic reliable design. Transmission simple 4-speed manual. Suspension basic leaf springs. Everything designed battlefield repair, not factory precision. American military tested prototype mercilessly. Arizona deserts baking heat. Alaska winters freezing temperatures. Louisiana swamps thick mud. Dropped vehicle from aircraft testing durability. Submerged underwater testing waterproofing. Rolled down mountains testing structural integrity. Vehicle survived everything. Military ordered immediate production. Politicians exploded anger. Senator Burton Wheeler called purchase foolish expense. Newspaper editorials mocked military wasting taxpayer money on toy cars. Critics argued real war needed heavy tanks, powerful artillery, advanced aircraft, not primitive little vehicles. American public agreed completely. Nobody understood what military leadership recognized, that simple vehicle would save millions of lives. Why did this matter? Modern war isn't won by superior weapons alone. War won by logistics. Army moving fastest supplied, best positioned, strongest wins battles. German Wehrmacht understood perfectly. Blitzkrieg relied speed, mobility, surprise. German tanks advanced rapidly deep enemy territory. German supply lines couldn't keep pace. German soldiers walked. German trucks broke down constantly. German logistics failed repeatedly, costing victories. Soviet Red Army faced identical problem. Soviet tanks powerful. Soviet artillery devastating. Soviet supply system catastrophic disaster. Horses pulled supply wagons. Trucks rare, unreliable, insufficient numbers. Soviet offensive stalled, waiting supplies, ammunition, food. British same challenges exactly. British tanks, excellent design. British supply inadequate, supporting advances. British forces stopped waiting, fuel, ammunition, reinforcements. American military studied these failures obsessively. Pattern emerged clearly. Modern mechanized warfare required. Mechanized logistics couldn't rely horses, couldn't rely civilian trucks, design paved roads. Needed military vehicle, specifically designed battlefield conditions worldwide. Needed thousands produced rapidly. Needed simple maintaining, repairing forward positions. Willys Jeep solved every problem simultaneously. Production began 1941. Willys factories produced 363,000 Jeeps during war. Ford received contract producing 277,000 additional Jeeps under license. Combined American production, 640,000 Jeeps. Additionally, America produced 100,000 Jeeps, Soviet Union, through Lend-Lease program. 30,000 Jeeps Britain. 20,000 Jeeps China. 10,000 Jeeps Free France. Total production exceeded 800,000 vehicles. Germany produced 15,000 Kubelwagen entire war. Ratio 50 American Jeeps, every single German equivalent. That production difference determined war outcome decisively. How did simple vehicle defeat Germany? Logistics. American divisions received Jeeps replacing horses' trucks immediately. American units suddenly moved 3 times faster, resupplied twice quicker, communicated better, scouted farther deeper. Every American infantry battalion received 145 Jeeps standard equipment. Artillery battalions received 76 Jeeps forward observation ammunition transport. Headquarters companies 52 Jeeps command control communications. American division possessed 600. Jeeps enabling mobility German divisions couldn't match physically. German infantry walked 15 miles daily maximum sustainable pace. American infantry rode Jeeps covering 100 miles daily easily. German artillery moved horses requiring days repositioning guns. American artillery towed Jeeps repositioning hours. German communications relied runners' motorcycles vulnerable interception. American communications used Jeeps equipped radios providing instant coordination. Every advantage. Multiplied combat effectiveness dramatically. North African campaign demonstrated Jeep superiority immediately obviously. British forces fighting Rommel across desert possessed superior numbers, inferior mobility. German Afrika Corps commanded Erwin Rommel possessed fewer tanks, but superior tactics, superior leadership, superior mobility. British couldn't match German movement rates. American forces arrived bringing Jeeps, everything. Everything changed overnight. American reconnaissance Jeeps ranged 200 miles deep enemy territory. Gathering intelligence British never achieved. British reconnaissance limited 50 miles maximum. American artillery forward observers directed devastating fire from Jeeps position miles ahead front lines, providing accuracy British couldn't match. British observers fought limited visibility short ranges. American supply convoys delivered ammunition, food, water, medical supplies directly frontline positions using Jeeps navigating terrain. Trucks couldn't cross physically. British supply relied trucks limiting operational flexibility severely. American commanders recognized pattern immediately. Jeeps provided tactical advantage surpassing weapons technology completely. German commanders noticed instantly. Rommel wrote diary, February 1943, American logistics capability exceeded anything Wehrmacht possessed anywhere. American divisions supplied better, moved faster, operated deeper penetrations than equivalent German units. He attributed advantage directly American. Jeep production overwhelming German capabilities completely. Soviet commanders expressed identical observations independently. Red Army received 100,000 American Jeeps through Lend-Lease. Soviet Marshal Zhukov stated, after war American trucks, Jeeps contributed Soviet victory, possibly more than tanks, aircraft combined. Soviet offensives traditionally stalled waiting supplies, catching advancing forces. With American Jeeps, Soviet reconnaissance units ranged deep German lines, providing intelligence, enabling devastating surprise attacks. Soviet artillery forward observers directed barges from advanced positions, destroying German defenses before infantry assault. Soviet commanders coordinated massive operations using mobile command posts, equipped radios. Soviet logistics finally matched offensive capabilities. German Wehrmacht suddenly faced enemy, possessing mobility, matching German standards. Strategic advantage disappeared completely. Soviet summer offensive 1944 demonstrated transformation dramatically. Soviet forces advanced 450 miles, 3 months, unprecedented Soviet military history. German commanders couldn't understand how Soviet logistics suddenly efficient, reliable, fast. Answer simple. American Jeeps supplying advancing Soviet armies. European theater invasion Normandy proved Jeep absolutely indispensable critical. American forces landing June 6, 1944 brought Jeeps ashore within hours initial landings. British forces relied trucks, tanks, heavy vehicles taking days, establishing mobile logistics networks. American units immediately began inland penetration, using jeeps carrying supplies, ammunition, weapons forward. Within 48 hours, American forces established supply lines 15 miles inland, supporting advancing infantry. British forces still consolidating beachhead positions. German commanders reported American mobility exceeded all expectations predictions. Allied intelligence intercepted German communications, describing American forces possessing unlimited transport capacity. Reality simple. Jeeps provided mobility German forces couldn't counter effectively. American advance across France demonstrated pattern repeatedly. German Wehrmacht retreating needed 3 days minimum preparing defensive positions. American forces arrived 24 hours later using jeeps. Scouting routes, establishing forward positions, disrupting German preparations constantly. German defenders constantly surprised American speed advance rates. Wehrmacht intelligence consistently underestimated American movement capabilities. German planners assumed American divisions moved rates similar German infantry divisions. American divisions moved 3 times faster because jeeps everywhere. Pacific theater campaigns showcased jeep versatility, extreme conditions perfectly. Island warfare presented unique challenges, unprecedented difficulty. Limited roads, dense jungle terrain, extreme heat, humidity, heavy rainfall, flooding, coral surfaces destroying rubber tires, salt water corroding metal components rapidly. American engineers modified jeeps, operating these nightmare conditions successfully. Larger tires providing better traction, soft ground. Waterproofing components protection. Corrosion, snorkels enabling deep water crossings. Modified jeeps operated successfully where conventional vehicles failed completely immediately. Japanese forces possessed virtually zero equivalent vehicles. Japanese logistics relied manual labor, soldiers carrying supplies hand. Japanese movement rates extremely slow, vulnerable. American forces moved supplied, fought speeds Japanese couldn't match physically. Battle after battle demonstrated identical pattern. American Marines, landing island. Beachhead immediately brought jeeps ashore, combat engineers. Within hours established complete supply network, supporting infantry advance. Japanese defenders expecting fighting days before encountering American positions suddenly faced American forces fully supplied, reinforced, equipped, advancing rapidly. Japanese commanders couldn't understand American logistics speed, impossible rates. Japanese intelligence reports described Americans possessing supernatural supply capabilities, reality jeeps. Everywhere, Stalin himself acknowledged American contribution privately. Meeting Yalta Conference, February 1945, Stalin told Roosevelt directly American Lend-Lease trucks, jeeps enabled Soviet victories Eastern Front decisively. Without American vehicles, Soviet advances would have stalled repeatedly, continuously. German forces would have reinforced positions effectively. War would have lasted years longer, costing millions additional lives. Roosevelt understood comment represented extraordinary. Admission unprecedented. Soviet propaganda constantly emphasized Soviet strength, Soviet weapons, Soviet leadership exclusively. Stalin privately acknowledging American vehicles provided critical strategic advantage, demonstrated true war realities. Vehicles matter. Logistics matter. Mobility matters most. American Jeep provided all three simultaneously. German military attempted creating equivalent vehicle desperately. Volkswagen designed Kubelwagen-based civilian Beetle car. Vehicle functionally adequate basic transportation. Production required specialized tools, skilled workers, rare materials, precision manufacturing, impossible wartime conditions. German industry couldn't mass produce Kubelwagen required quantities anywhere close. Total production, 15,000 units, entire war period. Completely inadequate Wehrmacht operational needs. German divisions relied horses throughout entire war, millions animals. Wehrmacht employed 2.75 million horses Eastern Front alone. Horses require food, water, rest, veterinary care. Horses move slowly, maximum 20 miles daily. Horses vulnerable weather, enemy fire, disease constantly. American divisions fully mechanized. 0 horses, 600 jeeps per division standard. Speed, reliability, endurance, incomparable advantages. German commanders understood disadvantage clearly. Desperately, Field Marshal von Manstein wrote memoirs. After war, American logistics superiority, particularly vehicle availability, represented insurmountable strategic advantage, impossible overcoming. Wehrmacht couldn't compete American industrial production capacity. Germany lost war industrial output logistics. Post-war military analysis confirmed Jeep decisive contribution victory. American military historian Martin Van Creveld calculated logistics efficiency, comparing Wehrmacht performance, American forces detailed studies. American divisions operated 300 miles from supply bases effectively. German divisions operated 100 miles maximum before effectiveness degraded. American divisions maintained full combat effectiveness weeks without resupply if necessary. German divisions degraded. Combat effectiveness within days, supply interruption. American divisions moved, repositioned, engaged enemies 3 times faster than German equivalent units. All advantages traced directly. Jeep availability numbers. Soviet military analysis reached identical conclusions independently. Soviet General Staff studies determined American Jeeps provided tactical advantages equivalent 50,000 additional combat troops, reconnaissance capability, artillery effectiveness, command control. Communications logistics efficiency all multiplied dramatically. Jeep availability. British military completely agreed assessment. British Army conducted comparative studies analyzing performance. North African Italian campaigns detailed records. Battles where British forces possessed American Jeep support achieved objectives faster, fewer casualties, better operational outcomes consistently. Battles lacking Jeep support stalled, required additional resources, longer timelines, higher casualty rates. American generals recognized Jeep value immediately from beginning. General Dwight Eisenhower, Supreme Commander, stated publicly Jeep along Dakota transport aircraft atomic bomb represented 3 tools most responsible Allied victory. General George Patton called Jeep America's greatest contribution modern warfare publicly. Patton's Third Army moved faster, farther than any army world history. Third Army averaged 50 miles daily advance, sustained weeks, months. Impossible achievement without Jeeps providing mobility logistics everywhere. Soviet Marshal Zhukov agreed assessment, completely stating American Jeeps, Studebaker trucks, enabled Soviet victory Eastern Front, certainly decisively, as T-34 tanks, Katyusha rocket artillery. Without American vehicles, Soviet offensives would have failed, repeatedly stalled continuously. One simple vehicle nobody wanted became weapon-decided World War II outcome. Not through firepower, not through armor protection, not through maximum speed, through logistics, through mobility, through reliability, through mass production, overwhelming numbers. American industry produced 640,000 Jeeps, while Germany produced 15,000 Kubelwagen. That 50-to-1 production difference created compounding tactical advantages, multiplying daily. American forces moved. Faster supplied, better fought, longer sustained operations than enemies anywhere. German forces walked everywhere. Soviet forces before Lend-Lease walked everywhere. Japanese forces walked everywhere always. American forces rode Jeeps everywhere always. That fundamental difference decided battles, decided campaigns, ultimately decided war itself completely. Simple car, nobody wanted defeated Nazi Germany, because modern war isn't one superior weapons technology alone. Modern war, one logistic supply. Mobility, speed. Army supplied, best positioned, fastest, strongest wins, always. American Jeep provided those decisive advantages overwhelmingly, completely, unstoppably. Vehicle American generals initially called useless waste, became tool, changed warfare forever.